Hi, my name is Nancy Love. I'm starting the Planet Peace Project, a global initiative designed to make your world a better place. For the moment, I would like to address a very interesting question: how to find your spiritual mentor, how to find God, or something that serves as well in your own life. The reason I'm stating this today is because within the last week, someone who admits to criminal activity not only against me personally but against people in general for a very long time was expressed anger at me, and I'm not joking. I'm telling you the truth. He actually said, "My sister and I thought you were Jesus Christ in a skirt, and we were going to stop hurting you, but you're not Christ." And I thought, wow. Why on earth, what on earth is that all about? First of all, I'm not pretending to be anyone's Christ. And second of all, I believe in something called the mystical interpretation of the second coming of Christ. Let me allow this disclaimer. When I was 7 years old, I started reading from all the world's religions. I read the Christian Bible front through back. I also read texts from Buddhism, Hinduism. I read, if it was a world religion, I read at least some of the major texts and information about that. I read everything from Rastafarianism to, if it was religious, I read it. Then I realized that, by the age of 8, I realized that about half of religion, all of them, all around the world, are talking about your own personal relationship with your Creator and what you are and why you're here. And they're all talking about love. They're all saying God is love. But they also all talk about the Golden Rule, and they phrase it differently, perhaps because they were dealing with different cultures and different languages and different types of people. But every major religion of the world talks about treating others as you would be treated. It puts it on you, and it doesn't say you're to treat other people the way they treat you. No, it says that you are responsible for achieving your own best behavior according to your own standards about how you would like to be treated. And you're not supposed to stoop to the level of the aggressor. You're supposed to be the best person you can be regardless of how you're treated. And I personally have tried to live according to that rule all of my life, and that's a long time. The other thing I started to do when I was 8 was starting to read from secular philosophies, because I realized that not everyone is a religious or spiritual person, but there were some people who were agnostics or outright atheists who were very ethical people, very kind and compassionate and generous people. And I thought, well, how do they get there without religion? And I started reading from William James and Soren Kierkegaard and Blaise Pascal and all these other secular philosophers. Then I started reading from the Eastern secular philosophers. And here again, what I found over and over, that people were trying to get other people to take responsibility for their own behavior and not look outwardly for an excuse to behave badly, because you're the reason. If you're committing crimes against others, whether it's humans or non-humans, animals, you're responsible for that. Nobody made you do it. You're allowing yourself to sink to the level of the aggressor. You're allowing yourself to sink. And that's on you. It's not on your victim. It is not the person who the crime has been committed against. It's not their fault. It's yours. So you need to own it. There's an old saying, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. What that means is, if you meet someone who tries to be your end-all and your God and they say that they've got all this worked out, just walk away, because you're talking to a charlatan who probably wants your money and who may be histrionic and narcissistic and probably wants your adoration as well. There's no such thing in this world as one person who's got it all figured out. We are all in this together. I kind of think of us as all being cells in the mind of God, and no one cell in the mind of God is in complete control or has all the answers. Every single one of us should be cooperating to find the answers with every other single one of us. Now, let me get back to what I call the mystical interpretation of the second coming of Christ. When I was 7, and then again when I was 19, 20 in college, I kept hearing about this concept. And what they said was, don't look for Christ or any other great spiritual leader outside yourself. Because even if the Son of God or the Daughter of God was reborn in physical flesh right now, if all that person could do is try to educate and try to, drill it into our heads and try to talk you through being a better person, and if it always stayed outside yourself, if that knowledge always stayed like words beating against a rock, then you're not going to get anywhere. It wouldn't matter if Christ came and walked right up to you and slapped you in the face or kissed you on both cheeks if you're not internalizing the truth. And the truth is the golden rule. You need to start treating people the way you want to be treated, and not blame people when they are in fact the victims of your crime. So the mystical interpretation of the second coming of Christ could be called the mystical interpretation of the second coming of Siddhartha or Buddha or Krishna or whatever. Whatever mentor or mentors have served you in the past in terms of education and role modeling, then internalize that and take responsibility for acting the way they would have you act if they lived inside your own heart and soul. Take responsibility. Don't just talk the talk. Walk the walk. Let every decision you make, no matter how pressured you feel, no matter how threatened, intimidated, no matter how tempted you feel by promises of gain or reward, you have to walk the walk of being a decent human being yourself. And that is a walk you walk alone. Regardless of who your spiritual mentors are, they aren't there when you're trying to make incredibly important choices about who you're going to be and how you're going to be toward others in this world. So the mystical interpretation of the second coming is, don't look for me or anybody else. Don't look for Christ in pants or Christ in a skirt. Don't ever blame somebody that you've committed crimes against for not being holy enough, or you wouldn't have done it. No, the problem is in the mirror. Like Michael Jackson said, you're looking at the one in the mirror. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. If Christ or any other great spiritual leader is going to be reborn in this world, it's because it's reborn inside your own heart. It lives there. The Christ consciousness, the power of love in all creation, whatever you want to call it, whether you're a religious person or not, whether you're just trying to do good and be, do right, it's going to come from within you, and it's going to be a reflection of your own choices. So please stop looking for spiritual leaders outside your own mirror, because you, people, you are the best truly spiritual leader you'll ever have, and you're the only one that's going to make a difference in your own behavior in your own life, as long as you're willing to take responsibility for what you're becoming and how you're treating others. Keep in mind that in both religion and in secular philosophies, half of it is, what is your relationship to your life, why are you here, and fully the other half is, how are you responsible for the way that you are treating others, both humans and non-humans, animals, and the planet itself for that matter. There, I've said my piece. Go look in a mirror.